me how to say ladies and gentlemen in gender-neutral terms.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
I really got to work on the sound effects, man. That is not the right mix. I don't like it. HIAC Talk Radio. Derek, Craig, we have limited time. Hey, everybody here in this room is See Captain America, The Brave New World, New World Order, something. I liked it. I liked that movie. There's nothing wrong with that movie. Everybody reviews things. The fights suck. Harrison Ford sucks. That's not true. None of the reviews are true. Everybody's like, well, most of the people that say, well, that's just my opinion, their opinion is not free thinking. And none of them are free thinking. And that was for certain political affiliation. Anyway, I like that movie very much. And I'm probably going to see it again because the fights and the scale of it was great on this big screen. And my screen wasn't nearly big enough because of a little podunk screen. But I want to see that again. It was a good movie. Stakes were not incredibly large, but it set up everything coming up in the future. I mean, I'm one person that didn't really have too many nitpicks about the phases anyway, but what do I know? I'm a mark. What do you gentlemen think?
I think.
When somebody tells me a Marvel movie is bad, I compare it to, the second Thor movie, which is pretty bad. And it wasn't as bad as that. So for people to get all, it was fine to me. And it served its purpose. It was there to connect and introduce a whole new, I guess they call it phase, and I enjoyed it. It's funny that they put in, like I put into the group chat when he said, people don't accept me as Captain America, but I still pick up this shield and I don't have blue eyes and blonde hair and blah, blah, blah. It's almost like they expected the backlash before the movie came out, because a lot of the people who don't like the movie, they don't like it for that reason. Not many people I've seen post online, not my Captain America, in the same tone as not my president. But I enjoyed it.
He's not.
Right? I enjoyed Red Hawk. I enjoyed Harrison Ford. I look forward to more. I'm curious because Fantastic Four is the next film, right?
Wrong.
That's the next one up?
Thunderbolts.
Okay. All right. So I can see how it might intertwine with Thunderbolts. But whenever I see a Marvel movie, I'm always curious to see how the next movie intertwines with this one. So I enjoyed it. I liked it.
As did I. I saw it last Thursday, and I saw it in 3D. I obviously enjoyed it. My problems, the nits I'm going to pick are few, because I think the only thing missing was the Russo brothers, because they directed the 3 previous Captain America movies, which are, to me, the Captain America films are the single best Marvel movies, standalone movies as they are. I still think Winter Soldier is probably the best action movie ever made, one of the best. The only other thing that killed it, and the person who pointed this out is Joe Russo, who directed the previous 3 Captain America. What killed it for me and for what the audience was marketing, because had we not known there was going to be a Red Hulk, it would have been a movie moment to cherish forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to market everything first and take it all away. Because I watched it in the movie theater with everyone with their arms folded, waiting for the Red Hulk the whole time. And had we not known, like in Civil War, when Paul Rudd became Giant Man, that was, no pun intended, that was huge, because the audience went crazy. It popped crazy. Watching it in a crowded theater, the pop was. But imagine if you already knew that going into it. It takes all the fun out of it. The Red Hulk, but again, it's all marketing. Took that moment away from what would have been a tremendous experience had we not known going in. But this was a sequel. The movie was a sequel to not only Falcon and Winter Soldier, but to the Incredible Hulk from 2008. And to bring those characters back and to have like a kind of,
finally,
a wrap up to that. was great. I thought I would see some Sharon Carter, but that's okay. If he's in Thunderbolts, I'll feel better. But yes, I really liked it.
How about now? We good now? I am absolutely thrilled that they're leaving. That they are still using Isaiah, the original Captain America.
Yes.
Air quotes for the white folks. By the way, the original Captain America was black. You white pieces of shit. Anyway,
Hell of a performance by him too. Hell of a performance.
Always was. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a bit role. I did not understand. I did not know. The trailers did not clue this dumb guy in to him being a central part of it. So I was thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
And man, dude, and I'm not even talking about the geopolitical climate of the world. I'm just talking about as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine what it did feel like, you two gentlemen watching it in the theater. When he says they're not sticking me in a box again,
Mm-hmm.
I damn near lost it.
Yeah.
I damn near lost it because you could. Damn.
Well, we mentioned on this very show when Falcon and Winter Soldier premiered, and how Don Cheadle, who was in it for 8 seconds, got nominated for an Emmy. For Carl Lumley, who was in it for 4 episodes of the best acting anyone's ever done, he wasn't nominated for an Emmy for playing Isaiah Bradley. And again, carried it on here. I thought we would see Elijah to his grandson, who is rumored to be in the Young Avengers. I was disappointed we didn't see him. But yeah, seeing him there was amazing. And to any white folks who listen to or watch this podcast and believe that this is a whole Marvel DEI conspiracy, everything that's done are taken from the comic books. We've mentioned it on this very podcast. Isaiah Bradley wasn't a Disney creation. It was a actual character from in the Marvel lore, and it was ripped from today's headlines from the Tuskegee experiments from 1932 to 1975, which meant that if there was an experimental drug that could benefit white mankind, it would be tested on black folks first. So in the MCU era that is now canon, that after the super soldier serum died with Dr. Erskine, they had a new one set aside, but they're not going to test it on some white kid. Let's test it on a bunch of black folks because we were expendable. And it came Isaiah Bradley. And Sam Wilson getting Captain America's shield happened 8 years ago in the comics. And in fact, the hashtag Not My Captain America even trended trended worldwide when the comic first dropped, with Sam Wilson being Captain America. So this is all rehashed shit. It's like the people, I don't know if you saw the Saturday Night Live reunion special on Tuesday, and Tom was trending #1 for working.
Yes, Tom.
He did that character 8 years ago. No one gave a shit.
Were people mad about Tom Hanks'?
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
I thought Tom Hanks had died because he was #1 trending instead of for what? He did that character back in 2016.
Let's take a little sidetrack, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like one dude on Threads. So for those who don't know, Threads is the Instagram Twitter. And yesterday I was scrolling and I ran into a conversation. This is great. This is even better now. I ran into a conversation. Why wasn't Danny Aykroyd at the SNL 50? And somebody replied, because he's a Trump supporter.
Oh,
don't worry, Derek. He's not.
I know, but they just want everybody to.
He's so bleeding heart liberal Canadian.
Yeah.
Like if he spoke truly about Canada, people would assume he's anti-American. Because that's how proud he is of Canada. But this is the same guy that compared people who hated Leslie Jones in Ghostbusters Answer the Call as the Trump supporters that are the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
He said much worse than that about them. Said that they mostly 40, 50-year-old chubby guys living in their basement, something like that. This is Dan Aykroyd saying it. That I guffawed laughing at that. I guffawed reading that thread going, he's what? And I said, listen, he doesn't want nor like you. He is not a Trump supporter. He hates you.
Yeah.
He compared you guys to the KKK when a movie came out, let alone ... But under that was all this fuck Tom Hanks stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then I didn't check up on it. And it's because I haven't seen the sketch yet. He brought back,
Which is hilarious.
Which is one of the most brilliantly written sketches in the last 10 years was him saying things and then them all going, that sounded very racist, but you get the point. They all agree going, yeah, you know what? He's right. And then he goes, now I have some things to say about that. Well,
we we're out of time.
No, we gotta go.
We gotta go. That's over for you, pal. So where were you 8 years ago when he it's a perfect microcosm of the world. But to trail it back to Captain America, I don't care about the reshoots. I don't care about backstage stuff in movies anymore. It's almost how I am with wrestling now. I don't care. As long as the product comes across great and nobody back there's getting abused or assaulted or any of that shit that's been going on in wrestling that shouldn't be, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
That movie is very timely. I thought one of the things they accentuated was the fact that Sam is not an enhanced.
Yeah.
And I thought that was used brilliantly. Derek, you're a professional fighter. Technically, you could speak to this more, but from a novice or a guy who was only swung at people's noses and broke them, it very much seemed like one of the things they purposely did, and not that they telegraphed it, but I can't fight like Captain America. I have to use everything else I have to beat you. And that one fight against that big guy towards the beginning was a perfect example where you thought he was down and he just knees the guy's face off.
I enjoyed it. I always tell people the most two movies, Endgame and to a different extent, Black Panther have been the most two surreal moments as an adult I've been in the movie theater. Like, I remember watching the first Black Panther in the movie theater and just getting goosebumps at seeing everything and the reaction to the crowd and everything. There were points in Captain America, they were doing the dialogue, and you'd get goosebumps. And maybe because I'm a black male living in this crazy country that we live in, but just the underlining message was like, wow. And there's kids who are going to watch that, and they're going to say, wow. And there's people out there who are going, oh, well, he's not a good actor, and he's not a big enough actor to play Captain America. I think some of you forget. What? I think some of you forget where Mr. Evans was before he became Captain America. He was known as the failed Human Torch. Right. I think some people forget where Ryan Reynolds was before he became Deadpool, and everything was a Green Lantern joke.
Well, they're white.
So to say that somebody isn't a big enough star, I think you guys forget where Robert Downey Jr. was when he became Iron Man.
Yeah, like, he was uncurable.
Yeah. When the first Iron Man came out, he wasn't like the star. It was
Terrence Howard.
What's his name?
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. It was Terrence Howard. So for people to say somebody isn't a big enough actor is ridiculous. I think just people just looking for reasons to bitch and complain. But it's a great movie. I'm gonna go see it
people
again.
that use DEI as the N-word. Let's stop. It's 2025, and I mean this for my fellow white folks. Stand with your brothers and sisters. Stop sugarcoating it. We know what they say when they say DEI. We know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what the thing is about Marvel, they create stars because
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Chris Evans, the guy plays Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
None of these guys were household names. Tom Hiddleston, none of them were household names. Like in Iron Man, Terrence Howard was the highest paid actor on Iron Man. Yep. He was coming off an Oscar nomination. He made more than Robert Downey, more than Jeff Bridges, more than Gwyneth Paltrow, more than everybody. Because he was the only name in that film. But all the others. And Anthony Mackie had a huge laundry list of credits of high-profile movies. So anyone who thinks he's not a big enough actor, obviously he's not been paying attention to his career and doesn't know anything about Anthony Mackie. He's already been in 5 events. He's been in 4 Avengers films and in 3 and 2 Captain Americas. So, no, he was. It's not his first time starring in a movie either. So, I liked it. I really didn't pay attention to the critics. I was very happy how it opened at 180 million.
Yes, I'm glad. Yes.
Yeah, because people were already predicting. Yeah.
I know. I just wanted to also add, Twisted Metal is really fucking solid.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, has nobody watched Twisted Metal?
He's great in it. Everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not a slouch in that show, and we're like, well, he's not a star. Well, what else do you need to do to be a star?
Yeah. And it's a Marvel. Yeah, it's a Marvel movie. Marvel movies aren't. They don't get you don't get the role for your acting ability. You get the you're playing a superhero. You understand? Your supporting actors are the Oscar winners, like Michael Douglas and Kate Blanchett and Anthony Hopkins, Harrison Ford. Those people that your stars are your action movie stars for a reason, because they can pull it off. Anthony Mackie has shown over and over again how he can pull it off. And the people that were deriding him were the same people that didn't want a black Captain America in the comic books. So
that's all it is.
Yeah, and it's rehash.
I was talking to my oldest son because he saw it in college, and Jonathan goes, "Dad, just prepare yourself." He goes, "Because when Fantastic Four comes out, everybody's going to be upset that Silver Surfer is going to be a woman." He was like, "So just prepare yourself for more of it. It's going to be worse, and it's going to be even, it's going to be even worse than this." But
that's never happened before.
Yeah, get over it, people. These things aren't historical facts. I know some of you don't like history and you don't want to teach history, but it's a comic book. And even so, it's accurate to the comic book. Stop looking for reasons to be upset.
And I had to talk him down, Derek, because I'm saying of this Silver Surfer who's a woman, she's a Silver Surfer. She's not
exactly
yeah. Let's not even go there. Like, there's only one of each every time.
Yeah, there's different. Yeah. There's different multiverses, and we're arguing over make-believe characters, folks. And Dan, you pointed out the people on the Press and Steve Reddit page. I would put them up against the people on Comic Book Guru's fan page, like almost neck and neck in terms of useless arguments about really stupid shit.
I had to stop responding because Rockstar Rob and/or Steve were about to kill me if I continued. They didn't say anything. I'm saying, like, I would have gone in 100% on some of these folks if I didn't stop. Well, every time you mention a woman or anything other than a white man, it's just.
Well, we're halfway through Black History Month, and every February I do 28 different heroes in the superhero community. I've given up giving commentary. I just show the hero and the year it was it was introduced, and oh my God, I put out that Misty Knight was the first female African American superhero, and oh my God, I agree, fuck them, but the vitriol I got. It was Storm. It wasn't. Fuck you. It wasn't not. It was Misty Knight. Storm was African. Misty is American, so she's the first American female. Oh my God, you guys listen. You're writing it down, but can you fucking hear yourselves?
No, and don't kid yourself. They're writing it down, but they're talking. This motherfucker.
Yeah, over Misty Knight and Storm. Who was the first female black superhero?
Oh, well, throw a coin, dude. Whatever makes you happy.
I saw that with the Super Bowl. Point out Jalen Hurts is black, Patrick Mahomes is black. Well, Patrick Mahomes, his mother is white, and he's married to a white woman, and he's not. I'm like, so he just doesn't have a dad? Like, what? Why do you have to point out his race? And I'm just like, oh my God, why does this upset you so much? Why do they have to bring up Jalen Hurts' race? Like, and I always tell people the same thing.
Either way, Derek, Patrick Mahomes' daddy, as far as this year is concerned, is a black man because it's Jalen.
Exactly.
And I tell people, and like at my job, they're doing a thing where they're celebrating black businesses for black. Why does it matter if it's black? I just go to it if it's a good business, and I tell people the same thing. Whether it's sports, it's acting, anything where we celebrate black inclusion. You told us for so long we couldn't do things for so long. So now we celebrate those who do it. They do it great. when 50, 60 years ago you couldn't. That's why we celebrate it. That's why we celebrate Doug Williams every year. That's why we celebrated Jalen Hurts. That's why we celebrated the fact that Jalen Hurts had an agent and a manager who was a black woman, because that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago. It's why we celebrate all these
What
things
happened
for the longest
10
time.
years ago?
Yeah, for the longest time, you guys didn't let us celebrate anything. We couldn't have anything, so that's why.
Somebody I don't work with anymore said in front of people, and unfortunately, most of them would have agreed or did agree. Like, I don't understand. Black people have asked for enough, and I and I said, I don't think you should be telling any black person whose relatives were hung in trees to ever say that. Don't say that, please, outside of this room.
Yeah.
Like, the room was very white. Let's just say that.
Did you see?
I was like, don't go outside and say it.
ESPN got major flack when they just posted this just because it was true. ESPN pointed out that Jalen Hurts is only the fourth black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And the comments came down. Why are you bringing race in everything? Why are you?
Mm-hmm.
And the person who wrote it for ESPN, he left his name out. He said, if there had been 55 black quarterbacks,
Yep.
we wouldn't have said a word. But there have been 55 white quarterbacks. And Super Bowl has been 59 years. And 55 white quarterbacks have won. So if we're making a big deal because there've only been 4, then yeah, we're going to point that out. If you wanted to make a big deal about the 55 white quarterbacks that won, go right ahead.
Yeah, they do. I see the fucking specials every year. The thing, since we're going down this path, which is fine, I don't care. It's fine with me. Since we're going down that path, something that occurred to me while we're talking about this is the words that I said, like, stop with the white guilt. I'm tired of white guilt. I'm like, I think you're making that up just as much as you're making it. Well, first of all, you don't know what DEI means anyway. If you say the full words, say the full, then say what you're saying, and then put that in context into a sentence, and you'll understand why I don't take you seriously. But the white guilt is like, nobody's telling you to stop living your life as a white man or a white woman or what have you. No one's doing that. It's the word inclusion.
Yes.
That's it. Inclusion. That is the word. It's an I word, folks, that probably fits after a D and an E.
Mm-hmm.
In the alphabet as well. I don't know how we made that work out, but I'm just like,
well, the people that are upset, ask them, you're against DEI, but which of those 3 initiatives are you against? Diversity, equity, or inclusion?
Yeah.
That's the bad part.
It's the last word.
Yeah, because I've told several people I know, I've been black my whole life, right?
You have?
Yep.
I've never known anybody, whether it was my peers, my mom's friends, who got a job just because of the color of their skin. I've never known anybody to go to a job with an application and do this, and the job goes, all right, come on. Like, so to make it seem like black people only out there getting jobs because they're black is ridiculous. And like you said, it's called inclusion. And when you bring up to them the fact that the people who benefit the most for it are white women, then they kind of, they clutch their pearls, and it's, they don't.
Hey,
they
not
don't
anymore.
want to hear that thing. Right?
It's all gone now.
And then I don't understand Black History Month. Like, why does it matter? You people are the same people who next month will be wearing Irish colors and getting drunk on St. Patrick's Day. Now I should bust into your bar and your party waving an American flag and going, get this Irish stuff out of here. This is America. Why does it matter?
You're Italian. Shut up.
And what still gets me is the people that thought that believe Kamala Harris, who's overqualified to be president, or AOC, or any of the dozens of black women that have earned their position because they had to work twice as hard as their white counterparts. They're DEI hires, but someone like RFK Jr., who has no degree of medicine, or a Linda McMahon, who has never been a teacher a day in her life.
Oh my God!
But those are the living examples of DEI, of someone getting hired because of the color of their skin, because it certainly isn't their qualifications. But we can't talk about that. But if But Kamala, she's she was a mercy.
I also want to point out real quick, Derek, and then I will shut up. I have to walk away for a second anyway, so you guys got to carry for 30 seconds. I also want to point out that for the folks asking where Kamala Harris and Tim Walz went, they went home, like you told them.
Yeah. Do you want them to like stage a mutiny and have people break the Capitol because they didn't win?
I'm fairly certain millions of people told them to go home. So I don't know what you're asking for. Guess what? Now she doesn't owe you anything.
Nope.
And you know what? And I fully support. She got her money and she went to fuck home, and I'm cool with that.
Yep.
She tried.
Yeah.
If you thought that was going to be worse than this, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And if that bothers you, I don't want you to live. I don't care. Anyway.
Yeah. And, to put a cherry on top, there's a lot of people out there who felt the way about a woman being a leader, especially a black woman. So to those people out there, there's a young woman by the name of Jasmine Crockett.
Yes.
And she's very fiery, and she has a voice. So I'm hoping she continues to do what she's doing. But that's a name to keep out for.
Oh,
but yeah, it's America.
It is. Ain't that America? Something to see. Speaking of keeping an eye out for, it was you who brought it to my attention because I was lounging on my couch, and from your message, I saw that Ricky Starks has been free at last.
Oh.
Now on NXT. You broke the news to me. How did you feel when you saw it?
I was happy. I was excited for him. And some people, they go, "Oh, well, now he's on NXT. He's on the developmental show." No, he can be the face of that. Just look at the promo, and he sticks out from everybody. He stands out from everybody on that TV show. And they gave the man the mic for what? Maybe a minute. I was excited for him. And with Mania starting, if he was on Raw or SmackDown, he'd just get lost in the mix. So you put him on NXT, you let him talk. He can be the face of that brand that's on a major television network, and he can show Toni and company what they missed out on. But I was happy for him, very happy, and it had Lex Luger type feel to me because 24 hours before you heard he was released, and here he is on NXT. So I'm happy. I hope he gets to the world and more because he deserves it.
I think his push is going to be very fast. I think he's in the right hands of people that know how to book him. Doesn't hurt that he's one of Cody's best friends. So I expect him to be on a fast track to SummerSlam. At some point, because he's got everything, and they're using him the right way. Don't put him in a match when it means something. Just give him a mic every week, let him talk. Let him find his way. Let the fans find him, and make him appointment TV. And you give him a match when it means something. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Back when the WWE Network first came around, I was watching old episodes of NWA, and they would have a bunch of squash matches. Every once in a while, Ric Flair would show up, and he'd sit at the desk next to Tony Schiavone, and he would talk. And obviously, I know who he was by then, but just hearing him cut a promo and he's all dressed up and then he leaves, I was like, I cannot wait till this man is back on TV again. I will pay money to see this man. And that's how you book Ricky. That's how they booked Steve Austin in the late 90s. He'd come out, he cut a promo, he rarely wrestled on television. And if they treat Ricky like that, he'll be a star. I don't feel like guys should have to wrestle every week for 20, 30 minutes every week. It kind of diminishes the star power of the guy. So I hope they use him, like you said, they're going to use him where make his matches mean something and have him just cut promos and stuff when he's not wrestling.
And it's really easy. I said this 5 years ago when I first saw an MJF promo. I said, just give this guy a mic every week. He's this millennium's Roddy Piper. So when he does wrestle, you want to see somebody kick his ass. That's how you make a star. Don't put him on one show and have him cut the promo of life, and then you don't see him again for 2 months, which is what AEW is known for. They have with Ricky, and he's not the only one apparently, because with a rash of releases, Ricky obviously the most high profile, but Miro is free. Is Malachi Black also been set free? Are we going to see them? Will we see them? on a WWE telecast soon? I mean, Malachi was a Paul Heyman guy, and Miro, he's not married to what's her name anymore, but he didn't leave WWE on bad terms.
Yeah, I guess it was in my algorithm. I was on YouTube and like the best of Rusev popped up, and just to see how he was at his height with Lana, and it like had him coming out with the tank and Mania and all the pomp and circumstance. I don't know if him and Lana can do what Randy Elizabeth did, and they can like work together after the divorce. But if they can, there's a lot of money to be made with him and Lana.
He was undefeated for a year.
Yes. Yeah. I remember he was like
he was undefeated for a year.
He can work. And now if you look at the guys he can wrestle, like I'd pay good money to see him in Jacob fight too. I'd pay good money to see him in Gunther. You know, there's a lot of guys, two guys there he can wrestle who weren't there before, and he can be a big monster. And the same thing with Malachi. You can put Malachi on either show, and there's a ton of new guys he can have matches with. He can do things with that he wasn't able to do things with. It's part of the reason I'm sad that Claudio is in AEW, because there's so many guys on the roster I would like to see Claudio have a match with, and he's not there. So hopefully they pick up Malachi. I assume Malachi is going to be there because Zelina's there, and they moved her to SmackDown. So I'm guessing he's going to be on SmackDown. But I really hope Miro comes back too.
If that divorce, and I'm talking about Miro and Lana, if that was his fault, I'm going to get arrested, because when I see him, I'm going to try to fight him, and I'm going to get taken out by security, or I'm going to die, because what the fuck, man?
I know, right? Yeah, right.
Are you out of your mind? I mean, yeah.
Did you hit? And part of the story was the falling out he had with Tony Khan was when she was signed to the company.
Did Tony Khan tell me he was an idiot too?
No. When she signed to the company, they told him and Lana they were going to be pushed as a top act together. This is after they were going to be a top act, and then he said everybody just went radio silent on them, and they heard nothing else about it. Which of course they would go radio silent because that's money to be made. Why? Well, gotta have Orange Cassidy. You can't have Miro and Lana. But I hope they're willing to work together in the E, and because there's a lot of things you can do with them.
Oh yeah.
Still,
I keep coming back to that WWE could fall into the trap of having too many stars, because they're kind of in that boat right now. There's so many people that that deserve TV time. There's only so many mics to go around, and now you're adding superstars like Ricky and like Miro. It's a good problem to have, and I think it's still the best place for them to shine is in WWE, because they never would have gotten the kind of exposure they're getting in AEW. That being said, I see Andrade's push has kind of cooled off, especially now that he and Charlotte are no longer together. I don't know if that's got one thing has to do with the other, but I don't see him on TV as much. I don't think he's regretting his decision to leave AEW. No. At least he is on TV with more people seeing.
Yeah, I saw last week Penta. He wasn't on Raw. I think he wrestled on Main Event, and everybody was like, "Oh, look, see, he's on Main Event." But then you look at the promo package they ran for him on Raw, and that's just as good as wrestling a match. Like he had his own promo package,
and he was on Raw last night. So
he's back to it. I think a lot of these guys, I think they see, what being there can do for you. Like I've seen Penta more times in the last month doing things, and I think I've ever saw. He did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and the guy speaking English, and I'm like, AEW have you think he couldn't speak English? Yeah, right. I was like, what? It made you think he couldn't speak English? And so to see the opportunities, I can't wait to see the because I think once Ricky gets going, I think he's going to be a star, and I think he's going to be a media star too, where people are going to tune in, they're going to see him talk, and they're going to go, we want to do business with this guy. And I think he's going to be a mega star. And if I'm MJF, I say it all the time, if I'm Wardlow, I'm paying attention, and I'm going, you know what? When this is up, I'm going to go over there and make a lot of money, because there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah.
But to play devil's advocate, maybe he doesn't want to go back because of what happened the first time. And I'm talking about Miro, just for example.
Yeah.
Now, I say he could go to TNA, but I'm like, Kenny? Kenny? He can't go to Ring of Honor. And see, this is the problem that we brought up 28 years ago. One guy owning everything is we have very little. Now, yeah. I guess I thought I had a point, but then I kind of unpointed myself. So then I'm going to take... Go ahead.
I was going to say, he's one of those, what do they call them, Triple H's and Dusty's kids. So he's one of those guys, along with Roman and Seth, Charlotte and Billy. He's one of those guys. If I had to trust my career with somebody, it would be with them. Because it seems like the only people who are having a hard time with Triple H are the people who were Vince McMahon guys, like Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley goes, "Oh, well, I left because Triple H has his guys," And he's kind of like a Triple H guy. A Vince guy.
Yeah, and kind of the Austin Theory effect. He was a Vince guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I to me, he's like a Ricky Starks type because that guy's got everything. And him being a Vince guy, he shouldn't be punished for it because he's a Luger type. He's a total package. He can work. He looks good. His body is good. He could be a great heel. He could be a great babyface. He's been demoted so far, but I mean, there's a reason why you keep bringing up that he beat John Cena at WrestleMania because this is a guy that deserves to be pushed, not in a tag match with Grayson Waller, who's got no heat.
No.
Heat.
The only heat he has is the crowd wanting Austin to punch him in the face. Like, that's legit the only heat that Grayson Waller gets. Like, I watched the NXT match they had with Obafemi, who's another superstar in the making. And the only time Grayson got any type of reaction was when Oba was beating him up or when it looked like Austin was going to hit him in the face. Those only two reactions he got.
I'm going to end the show, gentlemen, this week because I know we're running out of time with Mr. D-Mac, which is also his fault because he's like, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was getting my shirt. My shirt got delivered. Hold on, let me show you my shirt.
Oh.
I got my shirt.
He gets
my
good
shirt delivered. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
So
hold on, hold it up again. Hold it up again. I'm going to make it big screen.
I was, can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forget the gentleman's name, but for those who are listening,
his name is can you see his name at the bottom there?
No, just say his name.
Oh, it is Mr. Cecil Williams.
Now, Cecil Williams is one of the most famous pictures I think ever taken. I don't remember the year, but it was in the middle of all the civil rights movements and the fight to get just basic equality, folks. And it's a picture of this suave, badass-looking man, black man, bending over, drinking at a whites-only water fountain, looking right up at the camera like, fuck you.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things. So let's... It's been a great episode so far. I've been having fun. And if you haven't, I know about you. Let's end this on a high note for me. I watched AEW Grand Slam. Okay. And my favorite, it was fine. The show was fine. Nothing wrong with the show. But moment of the night for me is what we're seeing right now, which was Toni Storm regaining the AEW women's title in her home country of Australia. Went over great. The match was fantastic. These two are great. They're great together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And nothing shocking there. It looked like a fight too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It looked like a brutal fight, which is what we were waiting for all this time with her playing her role of a lifetime, which is playing herself. I thought the feud rubbing the blood. It was a good old fashioned wrestling feud. In the midst of all the criticism, I think the Toni Storm, Mariah May stuff has been fan-fucking-tastic. And I think this chapter ended the way it should have.
And you know what else I like? And she's gotten hot, which means they probably won't do anything with her now. The Quinn girl, who was feuding with Mercedes, she's very entertaining. Very entertaining. And I'm worried that now that she's lost to Mercedes, Tony's going to toss her to the side and she's going to lose all the momentum she had. But she's very entertaining too. And
Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron, I said Quinn, but yeah, she's very entertaining, and I hope she doesn't get discarded like Statlander and Willow did when they started to get momentum, and then they just completely had it halted. So I hope she keeps it up.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Did Toni really? Did she really tear her labrum during that match? She mentioned that in her post match speech. labor.
I hope not. I hope not.
I will check this, and I will check. But let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
I know how Craig feels about the puppet. I don't have to ask him. I know. But God damn it, if I was, I know, Craig. I know. It's fucking funny. It's hilarious. The way she used it in the match made me laugh. And that match was also great. See, I'm cheating and using crowd footage from this match, so I get less copyright strike. And again, also that match ended the way I think we could. I'm very happy with how Mercedes Moné is going over in this company. One of the few things they're doing right. We may not agree with the complete climb up that ladder, but she's winning, and she's still winning, and she's still running roughshod over the division. That's
good.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly how she should. Exactly how it should have been from the beginning. So yes, thank you. You know, claps for bare minimum, bookers. So
and if Tony is smart, which now that I said this, he's probably going to book it on a random pay-per-view in like the middle of the summer. If he's smart, the big money match for the women is Toni and Mercedes.
Yeah.
But you have to have people under them who people care about, because if nobody cares about anybody underneath them, they're only going to care about when they're going to be like, when are they going to wrestle? So he has to build up that division, kind of like how I think the top right now, other than Charlotte, no, it is the top, is Bianca and Charlotte, or Bianca and Rhea. I think those are the two biggest matches they can do in WWE. But nobody's looking forward to it because you have Io, and you have all these people underneath that you still want to see them feud with before they get to each other. And Toni has to do that for Mercedes and Toni.
It's the grade 8 formula. You have your top 4 on top. You have your top 4 middle. Your top 4 don't get beat, and the only people that 4 middle people get beat are from in the top 4. So, and to get to the top 4, you got to go through the middle 4. So that's how you build a champion. That's how you build interest, and that's how you build a big money match.
She tore her labia, guys. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that woman.
I'm just quoting. Now her labia was torn.
I say corrected.
Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, again, she is the best.
Awesome.
She is,
because I didn't catch that either. And I'm looking up, Craig, I'm looking up Toni Storm injury. Can't find shit. I go to Twitter, Toni Storm injury. Oh, labia. Toni Storm being Toni Storm.
She did a promo after her win, and she said, "I got it after I tore my labia," and I thought it was a labrum. But
as you should have, you should have thought that. That would have been refreshing to think. That's amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
I forgot the button I pressed. There it is. After the Vacker Goulia, I can't speak. Stephanie Vacker and Goulia matchup. Not that talent is low, but just like Ricky Starks, there's nothing that's going to keep her there very long. She will be on the main roster before too long.
Yeah, she will have a big time SummerSlam match. I'm predicting she'll be out of NXT by SummerSlam.
And I've never ever said anything for clout or credit, but I do want some, because I've been saying she should be on the main on the WWE roster since 2019.
Yeah,
I was about to say, before she got in the shape she was in when she was like the little powerhouse. She fit the role.
When she was Big Mama Pump.
Yes, Big Mama Pump.
I don't like. She's in amazing shape. She looks and moves great. She always has. Mm-hmm. That's not a factor. I'm just saying, I've been here since the beginning, and I will be here towards the end. And shut up about her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's an amazing wrestler. You're all wrong about his talent. You're stupid. If you don't like the octopus thing, shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
That's where I am with debates now. There's no discourse. It's just gonna be me saying, shove it up your ass.
Yeah, he's the type of guy I wouldn't mind. He fits NXT perfectly because he can work with those younger guys, and he's great.
Two top wrestlers in the Nova area at the time were Jonathan Gresham and Cedric Alexander. And the only reason why Jonathan Gresham didn't get picked up is because they picked up Cedric Alexander first. They just threw the ticket to the other guy. That it would have been one or the other.
Yeah, and I see this debate about who has the best women's division. WWE, especially NXT, they have an embarrassment of riches because you have Stephanie McCall, who looks like a star already, and in the ring she's amazing. Julia, the same thing. You have the girls who are coming up who came up through the PC. Like, I don't know if anybody pays attention, but Lash Legend might be one of the most improved wrestlers over the last couple of years. She looked like she didn't know what she was doing. Now she looks amazing. You got Kalani Jordan, you got Sol Ruka, you got all these girls, and then you got the women on the main roster. Now is the perfect time for them to do another. What was the pay-per-view? Evolution.
Evolution. Mm-hmm.
Now's the time to do another one of those because you have everything. You have headliners, you have tag teams, everything.
There is no reason in the world right now, with the WWE money and roster spots, that they can't do a WoW wrestling show.
Yeah, they need to.
Without the secondary gimmicks. The one thing I despised, I'll say it. I liked watching the show. O'Hara was on there. It's a big reason why I watched the second run of WoW. Harley O'Hara was on there, but she wrestled as Fury, and there's nothing wrong with that. She was great, but the secondary gimmicks has got to go. I hate it. I hated that. Except Tessa Blanchard. Well, that worked out. There's no reason in 2025 with the streaming and the ratings numbers that they're looking for and the production and commercial money and promo that there isn't an all ladies wrestling show, if not twice a week. There's no reason it's not. So knock it off. Give me one. Because right now, I'm more invested in women's wrestling on both of the shows than I am any of the guys on any of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I just am. Maybe it's because it's been 30 more years watching the guys, and maybe it's just like, all right, I'd rather watch these ladies. I haven't watched the NHL in months, and I haven't watched, and it's funny you mention it because I'm probably going to waste more of your time here, Derek, because I know you got to go soon. I don't give a fuck about this Four Nations thing. Oh. I've been watching the PWHL religiously just because I'm enjoying it. Now, not on the Olympics. That's why they're doing this.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's what.
But with that being said, don't look up the news on Team USA, Derek.
Okay.
Because
here I am. I'm invested in the final now. Don't tell me there's like assholes on the team. Don't tell me that. Oh.
Derek, I don't know how to tell you this, but hockey is mostly rich white guys or sons of rich white guys. Where do you think that?
Yeah, that's true.
I can't wait to go to the White House. Suck his dick.
And there's a guy who does sports talk radio. His name is Dollar Grecker. He does the Ranger games, and he was like, "Look, to anybody who's enjoying these games, he goes, do enjoy. He goes, but if you're going to tune in to Rangers Sabres this Saturday and think you're going to see that level of hockey, he goes, I'm just letting you know you're not."
You're not.
He's like, so don't get your hopes up.
No, listen, these are the tops of the tops. They're there for the reason.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I've never liked the Kachuts for many reasons, his, their father being one of them. Still don't like the Kachuts. And I said to old podcast partner Paul Baker from Stadium Journey, I just never liked the Kachuts. I can't put my finger on it. He goes, well, you're right. I'm like, I know, but I'm saying. So we're all team go Canada. I know I'm un-American. Don't throw me into Canada. No. No. Tim Hortons in hockey. No. Derek, thank you very much for your time. He can't follow him anywhere on social media because he's smart. Craig, where do people follow?
You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads at Craig Ligon, CraigLiGgeons.
You can follow me on all social media accounts. DanLaw83. Yes, even the X site. Don't ask. It lasted 2 weeks. What can I say? And then some guy started photoshopping pictures of my friend Kiana's kids because the Eagles won the Super Bowl and they took, and because they were upset the Eagles won, they got personal with it. See, Derek and Craig and I can just joke around and take swipes at each other and go, whatever.
It's football. It's a game.
It's fucking football. And also, I don't know if you know this, the Kansas City Chiefs got cornholed on national television 2 weeks ago. I'm just saying.
What a description, cornhole.
Am I wrong? No. I'm just saying. But if you're going to bring the kids into it, let's just say if you're going to message me and say I'm a waste of skin, but you're on the side of people harassing this woman's kids.
Sure.
By the way, she's in the Army.
Okay, well,
so you wouldn't say that to her face, you fuckers.
No.
So, please, I know where I stand. Maybe you should know where you stand. For Craig Magans and Derek McDonald, this has been a fun episode of HIAC Talk Radio. Go see Captain America Brave New World. It is a lot of fun. I forgot to give kudos to Harrison Ford, but we'll do that Sunday on the Shadowcast, where all the white folks are on that podcast. It's me and a bunch of white folks. Just
on the Shadowcast.
This is the DEI podcast network.
Yeah.
Assholes. We'll see you next week. Hunt your favorite local Nazi and keep it on the paper.